Godwin wiped sweat from his forehead, relieved that the rain of fire was over. The boys led the goat away for slaughter. Ugochi brought out chilled drinks. The compound smelled of meat and palm oil by evening. For the first time in years, Adaora sat down quietly, not giving instructions, not barking orders, but fetching water, and even fanning Mama Yu-Gi-Oh. She was peaceful. She had changed. And when Ifunanya finally got married, Adaora was her #1 supporter. She helped pick the wedding colors, danced at the front of the bridal train, and even helped peel onions for jollof rice. Temi's wedding followed not long after. Adaora wore a gold wrapper and smiled like someone who had just won a peace prize. The compound was finally at rest. Harmony returned. Until, one evening, Somadina returned home and said, "Mummy, I want to introduce someone." Everyone gathered again. Then she walked in. The girl had purple hair, 5 piercings, and a dragon tattoo on her neck. Adaora blinked slowly. She cleared her throat. Mama Yugo dropped her spoon. Ifunanya whispered, "Part 2 is loading." But that, my dear listener, is a story for another day. He nodded yes, and I support Temi. This is his house. If he says you're no longer welcome, we're going. She turned to Somadina. He turned away. She looked at Kalichi. He whistled and disappeared into the kitchen. She turned to Ifunanya. That one folded her arms. "Bit Dan, reach your turn now. How mark it?" Finally, she turned to Mama Yugo. "Mommy, are you seeing this?" Mama Yugo said quietly, "Adaora, go back to your husband's house. Let this boy finally be a man." Tears started to gather. In Adora's eyes, her knees weakened, but she steadied herself. She looked at each of them one by one, then turned and walked out. For the first time since their father's death, the house felt light. Somadina started clapping. Kalichi joined. Temi's fiancé came out and hugged him tightly. "You did it," she said. Temi smiled. "I took the power back." They all shouted, "Freedom at last." That night, they danced, ate, and slept peacefully for the first time in years without fear of a 4 a.m. knock from a Daora. And by sunrise, the whole village of Amenika had heard the gist. Adaora, the commander, was finally dethroned in her own father's house by her own younger brother. Meanwhile, Adaora was still nursing her shock back at her husband's house. For the first 2 days, she barely spoke. She just sat in silence, her face longer than a funeral announcement. On the 3rd day, her husband Godwin cleared his throat. "So, are you going to talk to me? Or should I wait for your permission like your siblings used to?" Adaora hissed and turned away. Godwin leaned forward. "I kept quiet for long because I didn't want to interfere in your family matters. But now that even the elders of Amenika are asking why you were sent packing from your own father's house, it's my business too." Adora's eyes narrowed. "So you've joined them too. After all I did for that family. I raised those children, like my own." Godwin chuckled. "You raised them, or you ran a military camp. Even soldiers don't get the kind of treatment you gave them. And the way you chased Temi's fiancé out too. Didn't even let the poor girl sit down properly." Adaora stood up. "Godwin, you will not insult me." Godwin stood too. "And you will not embarrass me. You're not just Adaora of Amenika anymore. You are Mrs. Godwin. And I will not sit by and watch you drag family drama into this house like it's palm oil." He took a deep breath and said firmly, "You must go and apologize to them, properly. Carry a goat, get palm wine, go and make peace, or else you'll stay here and see a version of me you've never met." Adaora stared at him, speechless. He nodded. "You heard me." The next morning, she wore dark glasses and went to the market. She picked the fattest goat she could find. The goat looked like it had swallowed 3 smaller goats. The seller looked at her. "Madam, this one is strong." "Oh, are you cooking it or begging with it?" Adaora muttered. "To beg." The seller smiled. "Then it will work. Just add palm wine." That weekend, the family compound was buzzing again. But this time, it was not war, it was reconciliation day. Somadina ironed his shirt twice. Kalichi cleaned his phone camera lens to record history. Ifunanya rubbed powder on her face and rehearsed her speech just in case she was asked to count Adora's sins. Temi sat under the mango tree like a village king. Ugochi stood behind him, calm and composed. Mama Yugo was seated too, shelling a goosey with purpose. By late morning, Adaora and Godwin arrived with the goat and 2 big kegs of palm wine. The goat protested violently. It clearly didn't want to be part of the apology. Godwin cleared his throat. Good morning, everyone. We have come with the goat, and my wife. She has something to say. Adaora stepped forward slowly. Her sunglasses were off. Her face was bare. I came to say, I'm sorry. She took a deep breath. For all the times I crossed the line. For all the times I thought controlling you was the same as loving you. I forgot I was your sister, not your mother. Ifunanya nearly shouted. Say it louder for those at the back. Adaora glanced at her side and continued. Ifunanya, I'm sorry for grounding you like a criminal. Kalichi and Somadina, I'm sorry for the slaps, especially the ones I used slippers for. Temi, I'm sorry for forgetting that you're not just my younger brother, you're also a man, a grown man who deserves to make his own decisions. Temi nodded slowly. Will you stop monitoring us now? Adaora smiled faintly. Yes. Will you allow Ifunanya marry whoever she wants? Yes. Will you stop showing up like a thief in the night to check our movements? Adaora chuckled. Only on your birthdays. Everyone burst out laughing. Dafinda Tem. I raised his hands like a village chief declaring peace. Apology accepted. But this goat must enter Mama's pot before we know it's real. Mama. Ugo hugged Adaora tightly. Ifunanya ran and hugged her too. As long as you don't slap me again, we're cool. On Saturday, Adaora returned like a one-woman security convoy. She wore a lace gown that swept the floor and a headtie that looked like a Wi-Fi booster. However, her husband, Godwin, was nowhere in sight. She entered like someone inspecting a crime scene. She greeted briefly, hugged Mama Yugo with a quick squeeze, then turned sharply to Temi. So, you're the one marrying now. He nodded slowly. Yes, Adaora, this is the woman I love. Adaora scoffed. Love is not enough. This girl looks fragile. Can she command children? Her shoulders are too narrow. Her voice is too soft. Can she even insult back when needed at the market? Ugochi's smile faded. Ifunanya jumped up. Adaora, is it you marrying her? I'm only protecting this family, Adaora said. We don't just marry anyhow. This one doesn't qualify. Kalichi stood. Adaora, with all due respect, you're not the final say in this matter. Adaora turned sharply to Temi. Are you? Hearing how your siblings are now talking to me. But Temi stood still, his eyes on the floor like someone lost in thought. Ugochi sat quietly, embarrassed. Tears welled in her eyes. After a moment, she stood up. Thank you for the warm welcome. She turned and left the compound. Temi reached out. But Adaora stopped him. Let her go. If she can't take small correction, she's not wife material. Temi did not sleep that night. He lay in bed, replaying every moment, every time he'd defended Adaora, every time he'd let her override his own decisions, convinced she had good intentions. But now, he was awake. Early the next morning, he wore his slippers and headed to Ugochi's home. She opened the door, cautiously. Yes, I came to apologize, and explained. She crossed her arms. Your sister insulted me in front of your whole family, and you said nothing. Is this how you'll protect me in marriage? Temi swallowed. I was foolish. But not anymore. I'm ready to show you a different me. Please, just give me a chance. Ugochi raised an eyebrow. I'll come, but I'm staying for 2 days. No acting. If I see signs that you're still Adora's puppety, I'm gone. Temi nodded. Dila walked back to the house. From a distance, Ifunanya saw them returning together and smirked. She picked up her phone and dialed. Adaora. Temi brought that girl back. She even carried overnight bag. If you see it with your own eyes, you'll believe. She ended the call and smiled mischievously. Since we all suffered, everybody must collect. 6 hours later, thunder struck again. Adaora arrived. This time with her husband Godwin in tow, but she hadn't softened a bit. She began shouting from the gate. So Temi, you went back to bring that girl after I said no. Temi, come out. Temi stepped outside calmly. Adaora stormed up. You've lost respect. I said she's not good for you and you still went to bring her. She even wants to sleep in this house. Temi nodded. Yes, and so what? Adaora blinked. What did you just say? I said so what? I am the first son. This is my house. You are not in charge here. The compound froze. Mama Yugo dropped the knife she was using to slice Ugu Kelechi, blinked like a man trying to reboot his thoughts. Ifunanya gasped. Even Somadina, who had once received 12 slaps in a single day for chewing gum, could believe his ears. Adora's eyes widened. Temi, you're shouting at me. Temi didn't raise his voice, but his words were firm. Yes, because enough is enough. Adaora laughed, but it came out like a cough. So this is it, because of one girl, you want to disgrace me. Temi pointed his finger. Don't twist this, it's not about her, it's about you. From the moment Papa died, you became a dictator. You slapped, we endured. You scolded, we obeyed. We kept quiet, thinking it was love. But now I see clearly. It wasn't love, it was control. And it ends today. Adaora staggered back, as if his words had pushed her. You dare talk to me like this in our father's house? Our father's house, Ifunanya corrected, folding her arms like a judge on market inspection. The same house you turned into a prison. Adaora turned to the others. Somadina, Kalochi, say something. Kalichi scratched his head. Sister Adaora ... The truth be say you day overdue. Somadina nodded like a lizard. Correct. My girlfriend calls me houseboy because of you. Even Mama Yugo stood up. Adaora, I know want put mouth, but I only asked you to look after your siblings, not terrorize them. You carried it on your head like sack of gari. Temi gave a final warning. If you don't leave this house peacefully, I'll personally escort you to the gate, and Godwin will pick you from there. Adaora looked stunned. So nobody is on my side. Godwin, say something. Godwin, who had followed her hoping for peace, cleared his throat. My dear wife, with all due respect, these people are right. I've supported you all this while, thinking you were helping. But now, I see clearly you are the Wahala. That was the final blow. Adaora dropped her handbag. Godwin, you too. He was tall, neat, and polite, with that soft-spoken, apologetic smile that made him look like he'd say sorry if you stepped on his shoe. As they settled down, Temi, being the eldest, spoke on behalf of the family. You're welcome. We're happy you have found our daughter worthy. May this journey be fruitful and blessed. Everyone nodded in agreement. Ifunanya's joy was like sunrise. But then Mama Yugo spoke. We should call Adaora. She must see him too. Ifunanya's smile froze. Mama, is it by force? Adaora is not even the firstborn. Temi, ever the peacemaker, added, let's not create tension. Just invite her. Let her give her blessing. It won't kill us. So reluctantly, Ifunanya dialed Adaora, just calling to let you know, my fiancé came with his people today. They've come to see the family formally. Please, if you're free, come by weekend. Adaora replied immediately. Say no more. I'll be there on Saturday. And true to form, on Saturday, she arrived not with joy or excitement, but with a face carved in seriousness. A military general in Ankara, she didn't greet much, she didn't smile. She simply walked in, nodded at everyone, then called the young man aside. Let's talk, she said. They stepped aside. What is your 5-year plan? She asked him, her tone like a job interview. The poor man scratched his head. Well, I hope to start my own business. Business is not a plan, Adaora replied. Do you have spiritual maturity? Can you lead her with prayer? Can you manage her stubbornness? He was sweating like someone in NEPA office with unpaid bills. The talk ended. Adaora returned to the center of the compound and called for a family meeting. I'm sorry to say this, she began, but I don't approve. He's too soft. Ifunanya needs someone that can tame her. Ifunanya exploded. Adaora, are you okay? Is this your marriage? Is it your love life? Temi stood up quickly. Ifunanya, calm down. Don't insult your sister. If she's my sister, she should act like one. In fact, let's make her head of this house officially. Add it to her dowry. Let her carry the compound on her head. Adaora didn't respond. She simply stood up and left. 2 weeks later, the man broke off the engagement. Ifunanya cried bitterly, rolling on the floor. I'm finished. I will never forgive her. But she didn't give up, because she knew only marriage could liberate her. From that house and from Adora's shadow. Another man came, then another. Each time, Adaora found a reason to destroy his family name, his handshake, even the way he crossed his legs. Kalichi started calling her Destiny Killer. Somadina said she was allergic to happiness. Temi, however, still defended her. She's just protective. She means well. That was when the younger ones held a secret meeting. If it hasn't happened to him, he won't understand. Kalichi said. Somadina smirked. Don't worry, everybody go collect. Even Temi, his own turn is coming. And it came. Months later, Temi announced that he was ready to marry. Her name was Ugochi. She was graceful, humble, and beautiful. She wore a simple dress, carried a basket of fruits for Mama, and greeted everyone warmly. Even Afunanya approved. This one gets sense. See how she's greeting everybody. She didn't come here forming big madam. Mama Yugo took the basket of fruits and smiled. Welcome, my daughter. You are now one of us. Yugochi knelt. Thank you, Ma. I wasn't sure if you liked apples or bananas, so I brought both. Kalichi licked his lips. You try. Oh, even banana day. Ifananya rolled her eyes and slapped his back. Shut up, hungry boy. They all laughed, but the joy didn't last long, because, as they sat under the mango tree, discussing wedding plans and sipping malt, Temi had a brainwave. Let me call Adaora. The entire yard fell silent. For what? Ifunanya asked, eyes wide. She has to meet Ugochi. She's still my sister. Kalichi almost choked on his drink. This, your born-again thing, get limito. Even Jesus avoids certain people. But Temi had already dialed the number. Adaora, good evening. I brought someone home. Her name is Ugochi. She's the one I want to marry. I'd love for you to meet her. Pause. Okay, you'll come this weekend. All right. Safe journey. He dropped the phone and sighed. Somadina shook his head. Bro, you just invited thunder to your doorstep. Ugochi looked confused. Is something wrong? Ifunanya smiled bitterly. No. Oh, just prepare your spirit. Our sister is ... special. The countdown began. After Adora's thunderous arrival, the entire compound shifted from joy to tension in minutes. The next morning, Ifananya swept the yard silently, her tears falling without sound. Adora's voice still echoed in her ears like a siren on patrol. Her phone, now in Adora's custody, was probably suffocating in that tight wrapper pocket where Adaora usually kept her keys and sacred white handkerchief. Chuka and Temi, the unofficial peace envoys, tried to ease the atmosphere. Adaora, Temi said gently, your visit is like early harmattan. It caught us unprepared. Hope all is well at your husband's house. Adaora adjusted her blouse and sniffed with flair. Is it not better I come and check on my own family? Or should I wait until Ifananya gets pregnant for that boy that's always wearing bathroom slippers? Or Somadina puts one of those girls who visit him in trouble girls that look like party small chops? Kalichi muttered under his breath. How she take note that babe resembled Puff Puff. On Kalichi, Adaora barked. He sprang up like he had stepped on a hot blade. You know, Day, greet your elder sister again. What's all this whispering like rats nibbling on plastic? Kalichi cleared his throat and bowed slightly. Welcome, Adaora. We missed you. She narrowed her eyes. I'm sure you did. My absence gave you all wings. But don't worry, I've come to clip those feathers. Mama Yugo stepped out at that moment, beaming Adaora, the lioness. I trust you. Please help me talk to these children. Since you left, they've stopped listening. I've even been fasting. I looked up from the broom. Mommy, it's not fasting. Oh, you were eating suya that night. We all saw you. Adaora ignored the back and forth and took a grand seat like a councilwoman doing morning inspection. So, Una, what's the update? You said you wanted to fix the back kitchen roof. Has it been done? And that pit toilet still open like family heritage. Are you planning to catch crocodiles as a family hobby? Temi scratched his head. We'll do it soon. You know how things, harmony and all. Adaora clicked her tongue. When I was around, things moved. I turned my back for just 4 days and everything collapsed. Even the broom is crying from lack of use. Anyway, she announced, I'm staying a few days. I need to restore order. A collective gasp filled the compound. Ifunanya stood upright. Yo, what, Adaora, please, this is not funny. You're a married woman. Go and adjust curtains in your husband's house. Let us breathe here. Adaora turned slowly. Her sharp gaze landed on Ifunanya. When you marry, you'll understand multitasking. A good woman takes care of her husband and still monitors her silly siblings, Kalichi whispered, monitoring spirits. This one is their commander-in-chief. But Adaora didn't flinch. She began issuing rules. From today, no more walking around half-naked in boxers. This is not a male hostel. Lights out by 9 p.m. If you have an emergency, solve it before nightfall. Phones and call logs will be checked every morning. No eating on the sofa. Somadina, those cushions are not dining tables. And Ifunanya, try me one more time, and you'll be sweeping this entire compound until you can recite the national anthem backward. Somadina's jaw dropped. Backward K. Even to Nebu, no fit, do that one. Just like that, the house was under new management. Mama Yuko was glowing with joy. Adaora, you brought fire. The house feels sweet again. Sweet was relative, that night, as everyone lay silently in their rooms. A small voice whispered from Somadina's corner, "I think we should call God and report her. Maybe he can recall her like expired goods." Kalichi replied, "Yes, oh, if we delay, she installs CCTV in our nostrils." Ifananya added, "Let's give her one more day. If she's not gone, I'll fake malaria that requires total silence and bed rest." Temi, who had been pretending to sleep, turned and sighed. He knew this wouldn't end well. Something had to give. Either Adaora returned to her marriage, or the family would need collective therapy. Unfortunately, the prayers didn't work. She stayed for 6 full days. But on the 7th, she packed her bag and declared, "I'm leaving. I hope all of you have learned something." No one replied. Not even Mama. The house was still. Ifananya's eyes darted toward the door, calculating how fast she could lock it behind a Daora. They helped her carry her bag. As she stepped outside, she turned and said, "One small report, and I'm back." Then she left. The house exhaled. For the next 2 days, everyone walked on eggshells, just in case she returned unannounced. But slowly, they began to return to a semi-normal life. Ifunanya resumed, seeing her boyfriend, this time ensuring she returned before sunset. Kalichi dusted off his speakers and played music again. Somadina quietly updated his girlfriend via text. "Adaora has gone. You can come tomorrow." But just as the household found its rhythm again, another storm was brewing. One sunny afternoon, Ifananya burst into the compound, waving her hands in excitement. "I have news," she shouted. "He proposed." Mama Yugo screamed and hugged her, overjoyed. The boys congratulated her, and Temi smiled gently. They picked a day for the formal family introduction. Drinks and food were arranged. Chairs were borrowed, and on that set day, Ifunanya's fiancé arrived with his 2 uncles.